Hey guys, how are you? This is Mr. Argueta coming to you week number 2 in Principles of Management. So wanted to give you a sort of overview on what we did last week, how you guys did last week, what to expect for this week, and of course, give you a preview on what's going to happen next week. So just to kind of give some perspective here, it is Sunday about 1:15 for me. I wanted to get you guys this video as soon as you're able to see it and work on your assignments. So didn't want to delay it. I have a pretty busy week stacked up. Monday, I'll be helping at the elementary school with an economics class. Tuesday, I have a leadership class that I teach for industry in corporate training setting. Wednesday will be my son's graduation. Thursday, I train another class. And then, of course, Friday, I work from home. So I wanted to get this video to you because I know that it's going to be tough to get it out any other day. So here's what we talked about this last week that you just finished. We talked a lot about the view and history of the management world. You guys should have saw a lot of that perspective. Your discussion, of course, was an introduction. I'll be going through that and grading it this next upcoming week. So give me some time for that. Be patient. But this week, you will be talking about ethics. This is week number 2 in our Principles of Management, and we deal with the 5 macro environments of an organization. We talk about the external environment. Next week, by the way, in your discussion, you will be doing what's called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. And it's based on this chapter. It talks about the external environment of a business and the internal environment of a business and how those impact your decision-making process. But chapter 4 deals with ethics. And in business management, we deal a lot with ethics, and how we make decisions really play an important role. So the purpose of this chapter is self-exploratory. I want you to tell me, after reading the ethical perspectives, of course, what is your ethical perspective? And nobody has one. No one can say for sure, I always make decisions on this ethical basis. We go depending on the information we have, depending on the situation, depending on everything, the environment, we make decisions. So here's an example. Is it ever okay to lie? Is it ever okay to say a lie? And we're going to see in the discussion, you're going to find people that think differently than you. Some people are going to say right away, absolutely never okay to lie. The truth is always the best policy. That's your ethical perspective. I'm not telling you that's wrong, or I'm not confirming that's right. That's between you and your convictions, your ethics, your perspective. But there's some people that say, well, it just depends on the situation. So for those that lean towards what you'll learn to be called a deontological ethical perspective, you're gonna tell us that it's not okay to lie because there is some type of higher power that dictates those things. And I'm not telling you again, I'm not saying to not believe that. I'm just explaining to you why it occurs. And based upon that truth, then you base your entire ethical belief system on that. However, I will challenge you to look in the different perspectives and try to figure out why people do what they do. Not to excuse it or to excuse behavior, but to understand it. So, for example, for people who are deontologically inclined, they are typically faith-based believers. I myself am a faith-based believer, and we assume that lying is incorrect because that's what God says. So therefore, we make a blanket statement, say lying is wrong. Honesty is the best policy. But even in the Bible, there was a scenario where someone lied to protect the lives and spare the lives of Israelites and hid them in her house. The government of her time, showed up to her house, knocked on the door, says, do you have any spies? And she lied. Blank, simple, lied. She said no, when there was spies hiding in her house. She saved the lives of these spies. Not only was she blessed and rewarded, but she became part of the lineage of what we consider to be the savior of our faith. And it was a sort of a blessing for what she did. So we then have to question, is there ever a time when lying is okay? So people who are of a utilitarian perspective view it a little differently. They view it as the end of the matter is justified. The result is justified by the means. So what I did is not as important as the result of what I did. And people who are put in the same dialogical people can be put in a position where they would normally say it's wrong to lie. But then if their children or their loved ones were in a position that they had to lie so they can benefit their children, let's just say an example, a deontological perspective person will say it's wrong to steal. But if your child is hungry or needs a medicine to survive and you can't afford it, would that person in the right condition, in the right situation, with no other option, steal medicine to save her child or his child? Most of the time they would. So how does someone have that ability to do that? It's called ethics. How far would you allow your ethics to go? Where is your ethics? And in business, this is an important comment, important conversation to have, because we are consistently in a gray area in business. We're in an area where right and wrong is not always clear. We're not necessarily talking about things that are illegal. That's a whole different perspective in business. But we're talking about those areas that are shaded. We don't know if it's always right or wrong. Your ethics will dictate what that decision's going to be. So I want you to explore this and explore yourself. What ethical perspective do you lean towards? Once again, situations change, conditions change, you change, we evolve. That might evolve. So I'm not expecting you to decide on one. Most of us are going to say, well, there's a couple scenarios I have, but what's the one that traditionally you follow for the most part? Another story that I like to share is a train that's headed in a direction, and it's going to either make a left turn or a right turn. It's lost the functions to brake, and you are the conductor, and you look to the left, and there's a child on the left track, and you look to the right, and there's 10 adults. Which route would you take? Now, I have those of you who always want to save the world and say, well, I will do this to stop the train. You cannot stop the train. You have that. That's not an option. The only option is you will kill one child or 10 adults. Which one would you do? And you put yourself in that position to try to analyze what decision process you take. How do you process that little of information that you have? You haven't investigated who this kid is. You don't know who it is. You see as a kid and 10 adults. That's all you know. You don't know nothing about these people. But based on that little information, how would you process that? That's ethics. So share with me your concepts. There's several different ethical perspectives. Egoism is one that many of us use. You know, we're going to take care of ourselves. Our ego is going to kick in. We're going to think of us as an individual consequence. How's it benefit me? A lot of us make that decision in different times. But you'll see, read through it, watch the video, learn about what this concept is, and then tell me what it is, what you're going to be deciding on your ethical perspective. Other than that, guys, it's been a pretty warm weekend. It is nice today, somewhere in the 80s. I understand it's supposed to rain and get cool, so tomorrow's supposed to be in the 70s. Beautiful day. I hope you guys are enjoying it, staying safe, staying healthy out there. If you have any questions for me, please know the best and easiest way to get a hold of me is through email. As I mentioned, I'll be doing different things all week, so I'm not going to be at my desk very often. So calling me will not be a very easy thing to get a hold of me on. The best way to do it is to email me. It comes directly to my phone. I could see it, address it, and deal with it. All right, last thing. People were asking, where do I find this video to reply? Well, most of you found it. I'm probably the first, if not the first, one of the first posts on your discussions. It's in your discussion post. This is a conversation between me and you. So and reply like you would reply another student. I hope you guys are enjoying the class. I hope you're having a great time. Do me a favor this week. Have a great cup of coffee. Remember me and have a great day. Do your work, guys. Take care. Start it early. Get it over with. Let's get the semester over. By the way, we're 1 week down. We're week 2. There's 6 more to go. I promise you this will go so fast. You're going to think back week number 7 and be like, I can't believe we're almost done. So let's do this early. Let's get it over. Let's get it going. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week. Take care. We'll see you next time.